I do want to say this. While I did know basically everything about the movie with the cameos and plot beats and what was going to go on in the movie, that didn't take away anything from the experience I had, and I still loved it. Welcome to my spoiler-filled discussion and review of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. If you have not seen the movie, I highly suggest you go watch the movie and then come back to this video after seeing the movie. Because we're going to be discussing literally everything about this movie top to bottom. Talking about those post-credit scenes, talking about all the cameos, everything few and far between. But before we get into that, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you are new to this channel and you enjoyed the video. And with that being said, let's jump into a spoiler discussion. Now, while the first thing I'm going to mention is a pretty minor, I didn't really know was going to happen actually, and that is that Strange doesn't actually marry Christine Palmer. In the trailers, it was being hinted at that she was going to get married, and I really thought she was going to get married to Strange. But she doesn't get married to him, and she gets married to this African-American guy who we practically know nothing about, but then again, it's not really that important who this guy is. Another big detail that was kind of hinted at in the trailers, and if you probably had a feeling of what this movie was going to be, you'd probably know that Wanda was going to be evil. Everyone was kind of just assuming that she was going to be the villain of the movie, which makes a lot of sense. She is a very broken person. At the start of this movie, after the events of WandaVision, Infinity War, basically her entire life. And her big motivation for wanting to just do damage and specifically try to get America Chavez, that she just wants her to be with her kids. And that's a very tragic kind of story. And this is a villain that I felt that I could get behind. I'm not saying that I agree with her going absolutely crazy and killing a bunch of people to get to be with her children. But this is a villain that you can get behind, and villains, at the end of the day, you want to see a villain that you can get behind, see where they're coming from. In my opinion, that's where villains work so well. You think of a Thanos in the Marvel Universe, or you think of a character like the Joker. There are plenty of villains, and I'm definitely not thinking of them all. But they are characters that you can see where their motivation is, and it's clear. Wanda's motivation here is clear. She just wants to be with her children, and at the end of the day, she obviously doesn't get to do that. But we do finally find out in the movie that she is evil. Then about an hour plus into the movie, the plot starts to kick in, obviously. Strange gets taken by the Illuminati, and America Chavez as well. That's where we meet Christine Palmer, which is a different version of Christine Palmer. Across the multiverse, we're going to meet a lot of versions of these characters. And then Chiwetel Ejiofor's character brings in Strange.
The Illuminati will see you now.
And then we get introduced to the Illuminati. Now, the speculation going into this movie was who was going to be involved with the Illuminati, where we're going to see an Iron Man variant with Tom Cruise. I know there were a lot of people that were thinking that we were going to see that. But let's be honest, there was no way that was going to happen. Did we see a Black Bolt? Or were we finally going to see Mr. Fantastic in the MCU? And with the trailers, the second trailer, the biggest jaw-dropping moment was that we saw Professor X.
We should tell him the truth.
So he was confirmed. And then, this is so frustrating. I just want to talk about this for a second. The fact that Marvel just put Captain Marvel in the TV spot, and as well as Captain Carter. We were just so close to the movie. I just hate that they did that. And Kevin Feige even said that he was very frustrated that they did that. But I digress. But the members of the Illuminati, we first get introduced to Captain Carter, played by Hayley Atwell, who obviously is reprising her role from What If, this time in live action form. We then see Black Bolt, played by Anson Mount. And this is a character that not a lot of people are talking about. And not a lot of people are talking about it because I don't think a lot of people are familiar with the fact that there was a TV show which kind of just got swept under the rug because it was a pretty big disaster. That was Marvel's Inhumans. It was on ABC. No one talks about it now. I'm pretty sure it's on Disney Plus, so you can watch it. I might even go back myself and just rewatch to get more info on Black Bolt specifically. But I'm sure maybe Marvel felt bad for the kind of bad show that Inhumans was, so they called him back up and they were like, you want to come back? So he does reprise his role as Black Bolt. Obviously, Mordo is a part of the Illuminati too. And we see Captain Marvel, played by Lashana Lynch, who is reprising her role from Captain Marvel. If you don't already know, she played Maria Rambeau, who is Monica Rambeau's mother. She was Captain Marvel's best friend in the Captain Marvel movie. And then the jaw-dropping moment, which I'll talk about a little bit more in a second, but the big moment that got the reaction out of the most people, arguably, John Krasinski as Reed Richards. This is something that has been fan casted for years now. And I was one of those people. I was there to see John Krasinski. And me saying that, I knew that John Krasinski was going to be in this movie because of the leaks that came out just a couple of days before Multiverse of Madness was released. It was this past Sunday morning. I remember I was looking at Twitter, and Twitter was kind of going crazy because it was leaked. The Illuminati, everyone that was on it was confirmed. There was even footage of the characters, so it was not like a fake thing. And I would have been upset, but because I love John Krasinski so much as an actor, director, writer, and just an overall person, love him as Jim Halpert. A Quiet Place is one of my favorite movies ever. I was just ecstatic to see that he finally joined the MCU, so I wasn't too disappointed that I found it out early. But I do want to say, if you're one of those people that just go on the internet and spoil big things like that, what joy do you get out of that? It's just a little rant, but don't be that person. If you find something out early, keep it to yourself and let everyone else enjoy the movie watching it for the first time. Spoiling big cameos like that, it's a big deal and you will get in trouble for it. But not only will you get in trouble, you'll ruin it for other people. So just, as for the future, just don't be that person. But anyway, we get introduced to the Illuminati. They're there for probably 10-15 minutes. And then this is when the gruesome brutalness starts to happen in the movie. The Illuminati confronts Wanda, who is going on a killing rampage. Again, she was there to try to get America Chavez, who is the key to getting back to Billy and Tommy. So then Reed Richards is like, Wanda, you need to stop Black Bolt. He can pretty much destroy you with just the sound of his voice. Wanda looks over and she's like, how he doesn't have a mouth. Literally took away his mouth, pulled like a Matrix Keanu Reeves, and then his head explodes. And that was the moment in the audience where we all went, oh, it was either that or, and there were a lot of those moments, and that was something that I enjoyed. Mr. Fantastic then turns into blue noodles because Wanda just destroys him. And something that I talked about in my spoiler-free video was that I know plenty of people are worried, disappointed that they did this. Marvel, this is not just a one and done, I guarantee you. I would bet you good money that John Krasinski has already signed on to not only star, but also write and direct the Fantastic Four movie that Marvel has planned. John Watts just left. I'm sure Marvel was kind of just getting that out of the way, and they were having John Krasinski in the background being like, yo, we want you to do this movie. Because Marvel just wants to give the fans what they want. They gave it to us here. They gave the fan service. We got the fan casting that we've been wanting. But anyway, then Captain Carter and Captain Marvel go against Wanda. They both get killed. Captain Carter she literally gets stabbed in the stomach. And then Captain Marvel just gets decimated by this big structure that just falls on her. So the Illuminati's dead, and the rest of the movie kind of happens. There's about 40 minutes left in the movie after this. Basically, the big takeaway is that Wanda finally comes to the conclusion. America Chavez shows her that she was a monster to her children. America Chavez is like, this is what you want? I'm gonna give it to you. So Billy and Tommy are just terrified of the Scarlet Witch. And Wanda really comes to the conclusion that I'm scaring my children. The reason why I'm doing this, I need to put a stop to this. And then we think that Wanda's dead, but as the rocks are kind of like falling on her, you can see that like this big red flashing just like glows, and then she like disappears. She's not dead. Again, there was no way that Marvel would kill off one of their biggest characters right now. I bet you they have some Wanda solo movies planned as well. Then a couple more minor things before we talk about the end credits. Two big things I thought were going to happen was that Christine Palmer was going to die. She doesn't die. I hope that means we get to see more of her possibly in the third Doctor Strange movie if that does happen. And the legend himself, Wong, doesn't die. He lives to see another day. I think there were a lot of people, myself included, that were really thinking that Wong was going to die here. It kind of just felt like we were going to see his demise. There were a couple shots in the trailer that also hinted at that. But we can rest peacefully knowing that Wong sees another day. But of course, before we get to the end credit scenes, the movie's over. Doctor Strange is walking. Then that music starts to blare. The music that was connected to Supreme Strange in the final battle. Strange falls to the ground. The music's blaring. He starts just being in agony. And then the third eye appears. Movie cuts to black. Very interested to see where they go with that in the further of his character. But then you get to the credit scenes. The mid-credit scene, we see Strange walking. It seems like everything is okay with him now. But then all of a sudden someone calls out to him. We see it's Charlize Theron as his character named Clea. She has connections to Doctor Strange in the comics. Apparently she had a relationship with him. She's the niece of Dormammu, who was the villain, the big bad from the first Doctor Strange. And she basically just needs Strange's help, so it's just setting up the new movie. She tells Strange that he caused an incursion, which is basically where universes can collide. So she needs to stop that along with Strange. That was the mid-credit scene. Then you sit to the credits, obviously. It's good to see everyone who worked on the movie. Obviously, congratulate all of them. But then you see Doctor Strange will return, obviously. And the post-credit scene. We see Bruce Campbell's character, who if you don't know is a longtime collaborator with Sam Raimi, part of the Evil Dead movies. And this is the guy that Strange cast a spell on earlier in the movie. It basically just had him hitting himself for like weeks straight. But the thing that Strange cast over him is now over. He can stop hitting himself. And he yells, "It's over!" The the movie cuts to black. It was just a little gag, ah ha ha, you stay through the credits and you got this. It was one of those post-credit scenes similar to something like the one with Anthony playing the drums, or Captain America going,
"Here to talk to you about one of the most valuable traits a soldier or student can have, patience."
It was just like a little gag, and I was just kind of annoyed with it, if I'm being honest. I like it when little credit scenes like that, they set up something new, something we can look forward to. When it's just a stupid gag like that, I was like, that's pretty stupid. But anyway, that is the end of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Thank you for checking out this spoiler review / discussion. And again, if you did enjoy it, hit that like button, the subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so you get notified and don't miss any new videos like this. And I look forward to talking more Marvel with you guys in the future. Thank you again for watching. My name is Ben. People call me Meter, and I'll see you guys in the next one.